inflate more and borrow more and more regulations. Oh yes, this would have worked if we had just had more regulation. Just because we have a monetary system that encourages people to do dumb things that they couldn't do without the inflation, they come along and say, well, we should have regulated, which means total control of the economy, and we are marching in that direction. And unfortunately, even with an administration that claims they're for change, there's really no change. I mean, it's more of the same. More intervention overseas, more intervention in our personal life, and more intervention in the economy. So for that reason, we still have a long way to go. But what you're doing here, and this group is doing by organizing and planning, is to me very crucial as part of the solution. That is to get individuals involved and play a role in politics. Because coming out of the campaign, we don't even know exactly all the benefits that may have come about, because there have been a lot of state representatives elected already in different states, and a lot of activities going on, and it's really just a very short period of time since that campaign occurred. So if this momentum can continue, it may be that it will be the grassroots movement and the building of the grassroots movements, which has to happen. That's what happened, over the many decades for liberalism and big government to build. The biggest boost to the welfare state, of course, was the misinterpretation of the cause of the Depression. Although we had introduced a lot of bad ideas, and the Federal Reserve had been involved in all this, but by the 30s, yes, it was capitalism and this runaway free markets and gold standard caused all the problems, so those ideas were rejected. Today they're being questioned again, but what do you hear again today? It was this free market capitalism of the George Bush administration that caused all our problems. Well, if we had free market capitalism under the Bush administration, I'd like you to explain it to me. Because that's not what I call capitalism. I call it corporatism verging on fascism, where the military-industrial complex and every other special interest runs everything. So right now, our goal and our job has to be to restore, once again, belief and conviction in ourselves. Belief and conviction that we were on the right track, that we had a decent constitution, and that that spirit can be revived. We need to get people to understand that what is involved here is a sense of responsibility. And sometimes these terms are used by our opposition. They use these terms carelessly. But for some reason, I sense that people that join us know exactly what we're talking about, responsibility. Responsibility means that you're responsible for your life and taking care of your family, but you're also allowed to keep what you earn, and you're allowed to make your own decisions, and you can't come crawling to your neighbor and they insist that the government take from your neighbor to help you out when you messed up. And that's a sense of responsibility that is quite a bit different. Of course, we're challenged in defining and making sure people know that change is a word that changes all the time. But yes, we do want change. We want change from the status quo today of both the leadership of both political parties advocating big government all the time and almost every time, yet the rhetoric is better on one side or the other. Actually, the allies that I will have in Congress now and in the near future as it goes on are more numerous, not only for what I just explained a little while ago, but for partisan reasons. It's pretty amazing how conservative Republicans are when they're not in charge. They tend to vote better, and they tend to speak out better. But That's the one thing about the true revolutionary movement going on, is we are bound and determined to be as consistent as we possibly can, realizing that it isn't just a partisan fight, but it is an intellectual and philosophic fight and a true belief. So we have great traditions in this country and great beliefs in a lot of organizations. So I would like to conclude by commending Deborah and her allies in the organization, all of you who care and are coming and being ready to organize, because we live in exciting times, a very important, a lot of responsibility on us who do believe, because we have more responsibility. I've always said in my speeches that if we come to this conclusion and we do understand it and understand the connection of freedom and the Constitution, American traditions, personal liberties, economic liberties, and a sensible foreign policy, if we truly understand and truly believe it, we have a greater burden. The others, are all mixed up. They don't know, their views aren't consistent, and sometimes they don't care, and all of a sudden their self-interest means, how am I going to get more out of the government? That means, how do I steal more from our neighbors? So the responsibility is on us who believe this way to make changes, and that's why I come to wish you all very well. Thank you very much. We also have another guest. Can I see where he is standing? I see him now. I don't know whether he got to hear that speech or not, but maybe he was spared that. But we do have another member of Congress here from the Houston area, and I want to introduce him. And he will be coming up here in just a minute to visit with you. But I've known this congressman for quite a few years, and we worked together on many issues in Washington. I know his family a little bit. I know his mother, and I know his brother. And you know what? They even call themselves libertarians. And John is not afraid to use that word either, but I'm just warning him right now that I'm going to continue. When I find out that he is leaking and straying, I'm going to once again call his mother and talk to her. I would like now for John to come and introduce you to Congressman John Culberson.